Hello world, it's your boy Will Freezy doing another install. Now I'm doing a divisional round 2023 NFL playoff preview. I'm doing this right at kickoff. Today is Saturday, January 21st, 2023, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Jacksonville and Chiefs game just kicked off. Before I begin, I want to go ahead and gloat about the fact that I did go 6-0 in my prediction last week on Super Wildcard Weekend. The evidence is there, it's on wax. So I did a good job last week. So hopefully I continue that momentum. So let's get right to it. First up, as I stated, the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road, going against the Kansas City Chiefs. This is actually a rematch from earlier in the year. I forgot exactly what week they played, but it's the teacher Andy Reid versus the protege Doug Peterson. Those guys' careers are intertwined for, I guess 20, 30 years, somewhere in that ballpark. Jacksonville flying high off that win last week. Trevor Lawrence throwing 4 interceptions, but coming back and throwing 4 touchdowns in the second half. So those guys are really confident at this point, but they were at home. I think going to Kansas City, that's a tall task for anybody, especially a young team, communication problems, and Patrick Mahomes problems. I think Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense is going to score. I don't think Jacksonville Jaguars defense is tough enough to slow them down. So it might be a shootout. And I don't believe Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars can keep up. Now, could they? I'm rooting for the Jaguars, actually. Maybe if they run the ball, keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. Plus, Doug Peterson probably going to have a couple of tricks up his sleeve. But I think at the end of the day, Doug Peterson and those guys are on a mission. And I think they handle business at home with the Jags. Moving on to the late game, the 8 o'clock game, 8:30 game. My Birds playing against the New York Football Giants. It's going to be a good game. I'm interested to see exactly how Jalen Hurts looks, but it's great to have our MVP candidate back. The Giants played well last week against Minnesota. But once again, this is a rematch. It's tough to beat the team 3 times in the season. I don't really put much stock in our win against them in the last regular season game. They were resting their people. So, but I just think we have too many weapons. And I think our defense is going to really feast and get after Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones played well. We have to watch out for his ground game, him on the ground running the ball, and Saquon Barkley as well. But I think we control them. If we control Saquon Barkley, then we pretty much control the Giants. Only way I see the chance of the Eagles losing this game is if we turn the ball over, play sloppy, and we're not ready to play. But it's playoff football. Anything can happen. But I think the Eagles handled the Giants somewhere a 10-point ball game, something like that. Moving on to the games tomorrow, Sunday, January 22nd, 2023. First game is we have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Buffalo, play the Buffalo Bills. Another game where it's a rematch from earlier. That was the game Hamlin got hurt, so they didn't complete the game. Cincinnati was winning that game at that point, if you remember. I think it was 7-3, something like that. I like the way the Bengals are playing. Joe Burrow's confidence in those guys represented the AFC last year, so there's going to be no fear factor going into Buffalo. And Josh Allen's he's been really risky. He takes a lot of risks. It hasn't really caught up with him just yet, but I think it catches up with him this week. He has a lot of turnovers in the red zone, and that's a recipe to get you beat. Plus, the run game's a little suspect, and I like the Bengals' ability to run the ball, especially without Von Miller playing to get after the quarterback. I think Jamar Chase has a nice game. I actually like the Bengals to go on the road and get the upset and send the Bills home. But I think it's going to be a really close game, maybe a last-second field goal, something like that. Last game is the Cowboys going on the road to play against the San Francisco 49ers, who've been on fire. I think they won about 11 games in a row, 12 games in a row. And the Cowboys are rarely in the underdog role, but no one's really giving them a chance. But just like I said last week, the Cowboys are going to move the ball against anybody. Tampa Bay has a solid defense, especially at home, and they moved the ball like they wanted to. The Cowboys, if you've been watching them at all this year, they move the ball against anybody. They may turn the ball over. Dak may throw a pick 6 or 2, but he played a clean game next week, and they dominated the Bucs. It's really simple for me. Most games it comes down to the turnover battle, but this game especially. If Dak plays a clean game, Cowboys don't turn the ball over, they'll beat the 49ers. If they do turn the ball over and lose a turnover battle, they won't beat the 49ers. I think this is another game where Dak plays clean. And I have the Cowboys going on the road, getting a win. So, moving on to the championship game for the first time in a very long time. As much as I wouldn't mind being wrong, I want to see the Cowboys lose, but just being objectively, I think this is a game that Purdy maybe gets a little nervous, which happened last week. He was a little nervous, a little flustered, and the stakes are even higher now. So I see the Cowboys running the ball, keeping their offense, keeping San Fran's offense on the sidelines. So once again, I have the Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs, the Eagles winning. And then Sunday, I have the Bengals and the Cowboys winning, moving on to championship games in both respective conferences. So 6-0 last week. Let's see where I am with these 4 games this weekend. But until next time, be safe out there.